Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar. Part 1. Author Background, Book Purpose and Chapters. 1.4. Introduction. About the author, Shubham Kumar. Let's begin this powerful journey by meeting the mind behind the message. Shubham Kumar. Shubham Kumar is not just a writer. He is a seeker, a deep thinker, and a student of the human mind. His background is rooted in the disciplines of self-help, philosophy, and spiritual psychology. But more importantly, he speaks and writes from experience. He wasn't born into clarity. Like many of us, Shubham spent years battling overthinking, insecurity, doubt, and fear. He questioned the meaning of success, purpose, and identity. He experienced the mental chaos that comes from living in a noisy, fast-paced world. But rather than give in, he turned inward. He began researching ancient philosophy, modern psychology, and neuroscience, blending Eastern wisdom with Western science. He became obsessed with one idea: your life is a reflection of your thoughts. Change your thoughts, and everything else will follow. From this obsession came this book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. A clear, compelling invitation to transform your life by first mastering your mind. Book overview. What this book is about. At its core, this book is about mental rewiring. It's about how our thoughts shape our identity, our behaviors, our emotions, and ultimately, our destiny. In today's world, we often believe that external success will change our lives. We chase jobs, money, relationships, recognition. But Shubham reminds us, nothing changes until your mind changes. This book isn't just motivational, it's deeply practical. You'll discover why most people stay trapped in cycles of negative thinking, how your self-image governs every decision you make, why thoughts become beliefs and beliefs become reality, and most importantly, how to shift your internal dialogue and create the life you actually want. Each chapter includes real-life reflections, mental exercises, and simple wisdom that speaks straight to the heart. Now let's begin with Chapter 1 and take our first step toward transformation. Chapter 1. The Power of Thought. Thought is the seed from which all reality grows. What you think, consciously or unconsciously, shapes every experience you have. Shubham Kumar opens with this bold statement: you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. This means that two people can experience the same event, a job loss, a breakup, a challenge, and interpret it in completely different ways. One sees opportunity, the other sees failure. Why? Because of their thought filters. We're not just experiencing life. We're experiencing our thoughts about life. And most of those thoughts, they're on autopilot. The key to changing your life is not changing your circumstances. It's changing the program inside your mind. Because your outer world is just a mirror of your inner world. Chapter 2. You become what you think. This idea has echoed through centuries. From Buddha to Marcus Aurelius, from Ralph Waldo Emerson to James Allen, they all said the same thing in different ways. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Shubham brings this ancient truth into the modern world with clarity. He says, your thoughts are like a GPS, silently guiding your actions, choices, emotions, and direction in life. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll sabotage opportunities. If you constantly imagine failure, you'll resist risk and growth. If you focus on fear, you'll attract chaos and pain. But if you train your mind to focus on faith, growth, abundance, then you begin to unlock your potential. Your life bends in the direction of your dominant thoughts. That's not magic, it's psychology. Because what you focus on, you feel. What you feel, you do. What you do, you become. Chapter 3. Your mindset creates your reality. Here, Shubham breaks down the concept of mindset. There are two basic types: fixed mindset, where people believe their abilities and traits are unchangeable. Growth mindset, where people believe they can develop skills and evolve over time. If you believe you can't change, you won't try. If you believe life happens to you, you become a victim. But if you believe you can grow, you begin to take action. And those actions change your results. Shubham explains that mindset is like a pair of glasses. You wear them all the time, but you forget they're there. And until you consciously switch lenses, you'll keep seeing life through the same foggy filter, even when your circumstances change. He offers a beautiful analogy. You can't see the stars if you're always staring at the dirt. If you want to change your outcomes, you have to look up, to possibility, to potential, to what's still possible. That shift begins with a simple decision: I can change. Chapter 4. Watch your inner voice. In this chapter, we're invited to listen, not to others, but to ourselves. Shubham explains that every one of us has an inner voice, a running commentary that narrates our life. Sometimes it uplifts us. You've got this. It's okay to rest. You're making progress. But often it becomes our worst enemy. You're not good enough. You always mess up. Why even try? This inner dialogue is powerful because the brain believes what it hears most often. And if your self-talk is full of guilt, fear, and shame, your confidence will suffer. Your energy will drop. Your choices will shrink. Shubham encourages us to become aware. Don't judge your thoughts. Just observe. Notice the tone, the patterns, the stories you repeat to yourself, and then, gently, consistently, begin to replace the negative script with a new one. Use affirmations. Reframe mistakes. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love. Because your inner voice is the foundation of your reality. Change your words, and you'll change your world. Pause and reflect. The first 4 keys. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on what we've heard. You've learned that your thoughts shape your reality. You become what you think about most. Mindset determines possibility. Your inner voice can either limit or liberate you. These truths are simple, but don't mistake simplicity for weakness. If practiced, they can reprogram decades of fear, doubt, and limitation. The goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to become conscious, to take back control of your mind, and with it, your life. Coming up in Part 2. In the next 30-minute session, we'll explore how beliefs are formed, how to rewrite your mental programming, how gratitude can shift your frequency, and why consistency beats motivation. We'll go deeper into the science of change and the habits that anchor your transformation. Change Your Thoughts. Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar. Part 2, Chapters 5 to 8. Chapter 5, Beliefs. Shape behavior. What is a belief? Shubham defines it simply: a thought you've repeated enough times that your mind accepts it as truth. Some beliefs empower us. I am capable of learning anything. Every problem has a solution. I am worthy of love and success. Others imprison us. I always mess things up. I'm not smart enough. I'll never be happy. Here's the catch. Most of our beliefs were formed when we were children. They were planted by parents, teachers, media, and experiences we didn't fully understand. But beliefs aren't facts. They're just mental programs. And like software, they can be updated. The key is awareness. Begin asking, is this belief serving me? Who gave me this belief? What new belief could I choose instead? Because once you question a belief, you weaken its grip. And once you replace it with a better one, your behavior, your energy, your entire life begins to shift. Chapter 6. The Subconscious Mind. Here we go deeper, into the engine room of our mind, the subconscious. Shubham explains that the subconscious mind is like a fertile garden. Whatever seeds you plant, good or bad, will grow. It doesn't judge, it doesn't filter, it simply accepts and repeats. If you constantly feed it fear, guilt, and limitation, those thoughts become your reality. If you feed it hope, faith, and strength, you rise. The subconscious is most programmable when we are relaxed, just before sleep, just after waking, during meditation or prayer. That's why Shubham recommends using positive affirmations, visualization, and intentional silence during these times, because your subconscious is always listening. He writes, "You're never not programming your mind. The only question is, are you doing it on purpose?" So take control of the dialogue. Don't let society, fear, or the past keep planting weeds in your mental garden. Plant flowers every day. Chapter 7. Gratitude rewires the brain. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good emotion. It's a neural upgrade. Shubham calls gratitude the antidote to anxiety. When you're grateful, you stop obsessing about what's missing and start honoring what's already here. You move from lack to abundance, from "I need more" to "I already have enough." That shift changes your entire vibration, and from that higher state, better decisions are made, health improves, relationships deepen, opportunities open. Shubham suggests a simple practice. Each morning, write down 3 things you're thankful for, big or small. And each night, say thank you for one thing that happened that day, even if it was hard. Because when you train your mind to see the good gets bigger. Chapter 8. Consistency beats motivation. Here's a common trap: waiting for motivation to take action. Shubham explains that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like weather. But consistency? That's what builds real change. He writes, "You don't need to feel like doing the work, you just need to do it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because discipline compounds. It's the small, repeated choices. Reading 1 page, taking 1 walk, saying 1 affirmation, that slowly transform your identity. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. But the secret is showing up. Every single day. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just reliably. That's how the old mind dissolves. That's how new programming takes root. That's how change becomes real. So don't chase inspiration, build habits, and let those habits build you." Reflection. Chapters 5 through 8. Let's take a moment to absorb what we've learned. Beliefs are just repeated thoughts, and they can be replaced. Your subconscious is always being programmed, so choose your input wisely. Gratitude isn't fluffy, it's neurological medicine. And consistency, not motivation, creates transformation. There's a quiet power in these truths. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to change your mind, one thought at a time. Coming up, in Part 3. In the next section, we'll explore how to let go of past pain, how to overcome fear, why forgiveness sets you free, and the role of purpose in personal power. We'll continue this journey inward as your mind becomes lighter, clearer, and stronger. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar, Part 3, Chapters 9 to 12, Chapter 9, Let Go of the Past. We all carry emotional baggage, memories, mistakes, wounds, regrets. Shubham begins this chapter with a profound truth. You cannot walk into a better future if your hands are full of yesterday. We often replay painful experiences, not realizing that each replay re-traumatizes the mind. The pain lives on, not because of what happened, but because of how often we relive it. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means releasing the emotional charge tied to that memory. It's choosing not to be controlled by something that no longer exists, except in thought. Shubham offers a tool, the release ritual. Recall the memory, feel it, fully, without resistance. Breathe deeply. Speak this aloud. This no longer serves me. I thank it and I release it. Let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Every time you do this, the memory loses a little more of its power, and you free up space for peace, for presence, for growth. Chapter 10. Conquering Fear. Fear is not the enemy, it's a messenger. Shubham writes, fear exists to protect you, but it often overreacts. Much of our fear is imagined. Thoughts about what might happen, things we assume will go wrong, pain we're trying to avoid. But fear also becomes a habit, and when left unchecked, it paralyzes. It stops you from speaking up, stops you from starting the business, keeps you trapped in toxic relationships, holds you back from becoming who you're meant to be. So how do you conquer fear? You face it, not aggressively, but curiously. Ask, what exactly am I afraid of? Is this fear true or just familiar? What's the worst that could happen? And could I handle it? Then, act anyway, even in small ways, because courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means fear is present, and you choose to move forward regardless. Every time you do, your confidence grows, and fear gets smaller. Chapter 11. Forgiveness frees you. This chapter goes deep. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It's not about condoning what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about choosing to stop carrying the burden. Because resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person suffers. It doesn't work. Shubham explains that unforgiveness traps you in the past. It drains your energy. It creates tension in the body. It pollutes your thoughts. But when you forgive, even silently, even imperfectly, you reclaim your power. You break the chain. He offers a gentle practice. Sit quietly. Think of the person or memory that causes pain. Say this silently or aloud. I choose to forgive. I let this go. I set myself free. Repeat as needed, daily, if necessary. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a process of release, and every time you forgive, your soul becomes lighter. Chapter 12. Live with Purpose. Why are you here? What gives your life meaning? Shubham believes that purpose is the compass of the soul. Without it, we drift. With it, we rise. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't require fame or fortune. Sometimes it's as simple as helping others heal, creating beauty, speaking truth, being a kind presence. Purpose gives your struggles meaning. It fuels discipline. It turns obstacles into lessons. And most importantly, it keeps you grounded when life gets hard. If you're unsure of your purpose, ask, what makes me come alive? What problem do I feel called to solve? What would I do even if no one paid me? You'll find your purpose at the intersection of passion, service, and courage. Once you find it, protect it. Because purpose is the flame that keeps your mind sharp, your heart open, and your spirit strong. Reflection, chapters 9 through 12. These chapters are about inner freedom, letting go of the past. Facing fear, releasing resentment, living for something greater than yourself. Together, they create a sense of lightness, of space, a space where new thoughts, new dreams, and a new self can begin to bloom, because healing isn't a destination, it's a daily decision. And the more you choose healing, the more life responds with beauty. Coming up in Part 4. In the next segment, we'll explore the power of positive focus, how to build a new identity, why environment shapes behavior, and how to align your mind with success. Each chapter will continue to guide you from the inside out. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar. Part 4. Chapters 13 to 16. Chapter 13. Focus on what you want. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Shubham begins this chapter with a truth many overlook. Most people focus on what they don't want, and then wonder why they keep experiencing it. Think about it. We often say, I don't want to fail. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to get hurt again. But the mind doesn't hear the word don't. It hears the image and then starts working toward it. So if you're focused on fear, rejection, or lack, guess what you'll keep attracting? Exactly that. The solution? Train your mind to focus on what you do want. Say, I'm building success. I attract abundance. I choose peace. Shubham encourages you to write a new script, one built on clarity, confidence, and intentionality. Because the mind is a magnet, and what you consistently focus on begins to find you. Chapter 14. Build a new identity. Change isn't about doing more, it's about becoming someone new. Shubham writes, you cannot outperform your identity. You'll always act in alignment with who you believe you are. This is why temporary motivation often fades. If you still see yourself as unworthy, lazy, broken, no amount of external change will stick. So how do you build a new identity? Decide who you want to become. Be specific. Act like that version of you, even if it feels awkward. Repeat those actions until they feel natural. Speak about yourself with power and intention. For example, instead of saying, I'm trying to be more productive, say, I'm a focused person who gets things done. Identity is shaped through repetition and emotion, so start small, start real. Act like the person you want to be, until it becomes who you are. Chapter 15. Environment is stronger than willpower. You may have big goals, but if your environment doesn't support them, progress will feel like swimming upstream. Shubham makes a bold claim. Your surroundings shape your standards. If you're surrounded by negativity, distraction, or people who don't believe in growth, your mind will absorb it. Why? Because humans are social creatures. We mirror what we see. We normalize what we're exposed to. So if you want to change your thoughts, start by changing your environment. That could mean cleaning your room, deleting toxic apps, curating your social media, spending more time with positive people, Reading inspiring books instead of watching the news. Your environment should reflect your future, not your past. Even small shifts, like a vision board, motivational quotes, calming music, can retrain your subconscious. You don't need perfect discipline. You need a space that supports your growth. Because success doesn't just come from effort. It comes from alignment. Chapter 16. Align thoughts, words, actions. This is the chapter where it all begins to connect. Shubham teaches that true power comes from alignment. When your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in harmony, you create momentum. But when they're misaligned, progress stalls. For example, you think, I want to be successful. But you say, I'll probably fail. And you act by procrastinating. That's misalignment, and it creates internal conflict. But when you think, I am capable, speak, I'm doing this, act, by showing up fully, you become unshakable. Shubham offers a simple self-check. Before you speak or act, ask, does this align with the person I'm becoming? If yes, move forward with confidence. If no, pause, adjust, and realign. Because when your thoughts, words, and actions point in the same direction, you become a force of nature. Reflection. Chapters 13 through 16. This section gave us the mechanics of transformation. You've learned to focus your energy toward what you want. Build a new identity through action and repetition. Shape your environment for success and align your internal and external world. These aren't just ideas. They're tools, practices, paths to mastery. You're not just changing your life. You're changing who you are within it. Coming up in Part 5. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how energy and emotion influence thoughts, the power of stillness and meditation, how to break the loop of negative thinking, and how to live in a state of deep presence. The transformation continues, one shift at a time. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar. Part 5, Chapters 17 to 20. We often think thoughts create emotions, but Shubham reminds us, emotions are energy in motion. He writes, your emotional state determines the quality of your thoughts. Try remembering a time you were angry. Did your thoughts feel clear and kind? Probably not. Now imagine a moment of joy or peace. Did your mind feel expansive and calm? Likely yes. That's because your energetic vibration is a filter. When your energy is low, tired, stressed, overwhelmed, your thoughts reflect that state. When your energy is high, joyful, rested, grateful, you gain clarity and confidence. Shubham emphasizes that to change your thoughts, you must manage your state. Some practices to elevate your energy, movement or exercise, deep breathing, laughter, nature walks, gratitude journaling, listening to uplifting music, protect your energy like a sacred flame. Because when your energy rises, so do your thoughts. And so does your life. Chapter 18. Stillness and Meditation. In a noisy world, stillness is revolutionary. Shubham calls meditation the reset button for the brain. It's not about controlling your thoughts. It's about learning not to let them control you. He explains that meditation trains the mind to observe without attachment. Instead of reacting to every thought, I'm not good enough. What if this goes wrong? You simply notice and let it pass like a cloud in the sky. This simple act builds mental space, and from that space comes clarity, peace, and power. You don't need to meditate for hours. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused stillness can begin to rewire your nervous system. Try this practice. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 6 counts. When thoughts arise, gently say, "Thinking," and return to the breath. Repeat. Stillness allows your mind to soften, and in that softening, transformation happens. Chapter 19. Breaking the negative loop. Negative thinking often runs in loops, repetitive cycles of fear, guilt, regret, and self-judgment. And the more you indulge those thoughts, the deeper the neural pathways become. Shubham explains, "The mind is like a trail in a forest. The more you walk the same path, the clearer it becomes." So how do you break the loop? Interrupt the pattern. When you catch a negative spiral starting, do something different. Stand up, drink water, say a mantra, move your body. Name the thought. Give it a label like fear story or old programming. This creates distance and reduces its grip. Replace it with a better thought. Not fake positivity, but something true and helpful. For example, "I've handled hard things before. This is uncomfortable, not impossible. I choose peace." Repeat, repeat, repeat. New loops are formed through repetition and patience. Every time you break the old loop, even once, you weaken it, and over time, the new pattern becomes your new default. Chapter 20. Living in the now. This is the heart of it all. Shubham writes, "The present moment is the only place where real life happens. Most suffering comes from mental time travel, regret about the past, worry about the future, comparison with others, fantasies or fears that aren't happening now, but right now, in this breath, in this body, in this moment, there is peace. Presence is where power lives. To be present means to feel your breath. Notice your surroundings, be fully engaged with what's in front of you, accept reality as it is, without resistance. Shubham suggests grounding techniques, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Name 5 things you see, 4 you hear, 3 you feel, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. Box breathing, inhale, 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Mantras, say aloud or silently, "I am here, I am now, I am enough." When you live in the now, you stop chasing peace and start experiencing it. Reflection, chapters 17 through 20. We've entered the spiritual dimension of thought work. These chapters teach us, your energy determines your clarity. Stillness is the medicine for chaos. Old loops can be broken with compassion and awareness, and presence is the greatest power you'll ever possess. Your thoughts are no longer controlling you. You are learning to guide them with purpose, love, and truth. And that is liberation. Coming up in Part 6, Final Reflection and Closing Chapter. In the final section, we'll conclude this journey with a powerful integration of all 20 lessons, final thoughts from the author, a guided affirmation practice, and a closing call to live with intention. You're not just learning, you're becoming. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Shubham Kumar. Part 6. Final Reflection, Integration and Closing. Integrating the journey. You've made it to the end of a powerful journey, not just through a book, but into yourself. Let's pause and look at where we began and how far we've come. From the first chapter, Shubham Kumar made one thing clear. Your life is shaped more by your thoughts than your circumstances. And now, with all 20 chapters behind you, that idea has become more than just a quote. It's a way of living. Let's revisit the core transformations from this journey. Awareness. You now recognize that your mind runs on patterns, many of which were inherited, unconscious, or outdated. By becoming aware of these thought loops, You've taken back your power. Responsibility. You've embraced the truth that you are the author of your inner world. No longer a victim of circumstance, you've learned to steer your thinking, and thus your life. Practice each tool. Shubham offered, from gratitude and stillness to affirmations and intentional focus, is a practice. Change doesn't happen once. It happens daily, quietly, consistently. Identity. You've begun shifting not just what you do, but who you believe you are. That's real change, lasting change, and through it all, a deeper truth has emerged. The mind is a garden. What will you plant? Your mind is not a battlefield. It is not broken. It is not your enemy. It's a garden, and every thought you think is a seed. Every belief you nurture is a tree. Every emotion you water becomes your environment. If you want to experience peace, love, success, or freedom, you must plant those thoughts again and again. Uproot the weeds. Plant the truth. Speak to yourself with kindness. Think with clarity. Act with alignment. And over time, your inner garden will reflect in your outer world. Guided affirmations. Reprogram your mind. Now, let's cement these lessons with a set of spoken affirmations. You can repeat them out loud, whisper them, or simply listen with presence. Let them sink deep into your mind, your body, your soul. Affirmation begins. I am not my past. I am not my fears. I am not my doubts. I am a thinker, and I choose my thoughts. I think thoughts that empower me. I speak words that align with my highest self. I take actions that honor my vision. My mind is calm. My heart is open. My life is unfolding perfectly. I am grateful. I am growing. I am guided. I release what no longer serves me. I forgive myself and others. I trust the journey. I live in the now. I breathe with intention. I walk with purpose. My thoughts shape my life, and I choose to think beautifully. Affirmation ends. Take a deep breath and smile. Words from the author, Shubham Kumar. As we reach the final pages, Shubham Kumar offers a closing reminder. This book is not a finish line, it's a doorway. The real work begins now, in your thoughts, your rituals, your decisions. Keep returning to this wisdom. Repetition is mastery, and your mind is worth mastering. He encourages us not to seek perfection, but progress, to celebrate small wins, to journal your thoughts, to surround yourself with people who believe in growth, and most of all, to remember that transformation is never outside you. It begins with a single thought, and that thought is yours to choose. Living the work, daily practices. To carry this work into your life, here are 7 daily habits recommended by Shubham. Morning mindset. Reset. Before checking your phone, read one empowering quote or affirmation. Gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're thankful for. Daily. Affirmations. Speak or write one statement that supports your new identity. Mental detox. Limit exposure to negative news, gossip, or toxic environments. Stillness. Practice. Meditate or sit in silence for 5-10 minutes per day. Visualize. Close your eyes and imagine the person you're becoming. Evening reflection. Ask, what thought today served me? What thought didn't? These are not rules. They are seeds. Plant them daily. Watch what grows. Final closing message. You are not broken. You never were. You are not stuck. You never were. You are not defined by your past, your doubts, your circumstances. You are a thinker, a creator, a soul with a mind that can shape reality. Let this not just be a book you listen to. Let it be the beginning of a new way of thinking, and thus a new way of living. So as you go forward, think thoughts that nourish, speak words that uplift, act in ways that align. And when you forget, as we all do, come back to this truth. Change your thoughts. Change your life.